Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR, and here's a brand new Halacha for you, and it's for Wednesday, the 13th day of October. Here we go. You probably know, even if you never heard this law before, it would make perfect sense to you, that you're not supposed to be drunk at all whenever saying any of your davening. I guess that makes perfect sense. When we daven, we are speaking, of course, to the King of all kings, and we want to be absolutely respectful, and if you have drunken any wine before that Shemona Esrei, or before you say Shema, or one of the major parts of davening like that, of course it would be inappropriate to be standing and speaking in front of the King of all kings when inebriated and not in the right state of mind. If a person ever wants to have an idea of like how much is considered feeling drunk and they had one drink or whatever, may they now daven? The general rule that the Shulchan Aruch says is, do you feel like you would stand in front of a king and speak to him now in this state of mind? If you wouldn't feel comfortable speaking to a king, then you should certainly not feel comfortable right now speaking to the King of all kings. And lest you have a chilled out feeling about king and say, yeah, well, I could speak to the President of the United States right now, although I am a little tipsy. Listen, you have to consider it the type of king that has the power of life and death, and try to imagine how scary that is, the kind that could say, off with your head if you insult them. Well, you are speaking now to the King of all kings who has the ultimate power, so it should be with that kind of state of mind. Now, you probably knew that, but let me just add, if you already have the feeling of, I know, I've heard of this, and it's written in the Bible and everything, but that refers to wine pretty much. It doesn't refer to whether I've had a small drink of liquor. And to that, most of the poskim say it's the same. Just like you can't be, have too much wine in you when you're davening, you also can't have too much anything else that makes you drunk when you're about to daven. That's the same thing. Interestingly, there is a small amount of leniency when it comes to Birkat Hamazon, to benching at the end of a meal. God asks us to bench at the end of a meal. He asks us to do that within 72 minutes after we finished eating. And sometimes, like at the Purim Suda, for example, where it's considered a mitzvah to have some wine, it's very possible that some of the effects of that wine can still be felt while you are saying benching. Well, there is some small leniency, because God actually told you to bench within those 72 minutes, and He told you to have some wine at your Kiddush or your whatever, so that small amount is acceptable. But even on Purim, those who are very righteous would say, hey, in a little while I have to bench, and I want my benching to be proper with the right intentions, so I don't want to be smashed drunk, because then I won't be able to bench properly. So you see that even there, the proper amount of restraint is necessary so that your benching is meaningful. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.